You finally found that home that you love. The price seems right, the location's perfect, and the seller seems to be honest. But if they say or they do this, you might be walking into a nightmare. I'm Ben Geanetta, a realtor right here in Sandpoint, Idaho, helping people just like you relocate to North Idaho and buy homes. In this video, I'm going to cover the biggest red flags to watch when you're buying a home in and around Sandpoint. That way you can avoid costly mistakes and make a smart investment. And if you want my free location guide to Sandpoint when you move here, use the link down below in the description and I'm going to send it right over to you. Number one, we've never had an issue with just insert a problem. The well, the septic, the attic, the basement, the crawl space. It doesn't matter what they say. We've never had an issue with this. You might want to look a little bit deeper into that. You know, if they never had a problem with the attic, when's the last time that you were up there? Do you have a leak that you're unaware of and you haven't started seeing the signs of that yet? Have you never been in your crawl space or your basement? Same thing. Are you seeing water intrusion? Well, you're not because you're not going down there and there really is a problem. Or what about your well? Yeah, you turn on the faucet, you get the water, you're taking a drink, you're making your dinner with it, you're showering in it. But what if you never get it tested? Well, maybe there's a problem there and you don't know because you're not testing it. Or how about you go to the bathroom, you do your business, you flush it, it goes away, but when's the last time you had it inspected and pumped? How good are you on paying attention to what you put down the sink? Grease and meat and stuff that doesn't decompose. Well, yeah, if you're not taking care of your system and you're not pumping it out, you've never had a problem with it, but slowly but surely there is a problem and that's gonna get passed on to you, the home buyer. So if they've never had a problem with something, and it could be anything outside of what I just talked about, you might want to ask some questions to get a deeper knowledge of the "we've never had a problem with it" statement. Number two, you look at the property disclosure and everything is checked "I don't know" on every single item. The seller is required to disclose adverse material facts. So anything that's happened to that house, they need to disclose it to you. And that's going to be flood, fire, smoke damage, rodents, things of that nature. That has to get disclosed. And so when you're looking at that property disclosure and you see "I don't know" for every section, that's a red flag. Come on, you've lived in the house. Depending on the age of the house, how long you've lived there, you probably know something that came up. I tell my sellers, hey, even if you had a rodent problem 10 years ago and you got it fixed and you haven't seen one in 9 years, go ahead and disclose that. Over disclose and just be honest and transparent with your buyer. And that applies to water damage. If you had a small grease fire in the kitchen and nothing was really damaged, but maybe the appliance, go ahead and disclose that. Over disclose. It's going to be in your best interest as a seller and definitely your interest as a buyer. So just be wary when you're looking at the property disclosures. There's a spot for them to say no. And to me, that is more telling, that is more honest. If they say no on everything, there's some great houses out there. There's some people that do an amazing job of maintaining their house and responsible. And there really isn't anything wrong with it because they are taking steps to make sure that problems don't come up. Of course, accidents happen. I get that, you get that. And go ahead and disclose it if an accident happened. Number three is we did the work ourselves and no permit was required. So a fresh remodel is exciting, but if the seller says that they did the work themselves and they didn't pull any permits, or if they just did the work themselves and they still pulled permits, I would be careful. They might cut corners to save a little bit of money, and maybe they didn't follow code. And here's the thing, there's no building codes in Bonner County. So there's really no guidelines for them to be held to. If they're gonna cut corners, if they are going to DIY it themselves, you might be inheriting a very expensive problem or safety hazards that won't show up until later down the road when you own the house. So if they DIY'd it, if they did the work themselves, you might want to take a little bit closer attention, pay attention to those items that they did. Number four, and that's a recent remodel, and maybe the house sold multiple times in the last 10 years. So this is kind of similar to number three, but a little bit different. So hey, we just bought it, we just did a remodel, and we're putting it right back on the market. Or maybe they just did a remodel, they've lived there for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and now they're putting it on the market. That one's like borderline. Maybe they were like my parents, they went to do a remodel, no intentions of moving, but then at the end of the remodel, something happened and they needed to move. That can happen. Or maybe you have the funds and you're gonna do a remodel, that way you can try and sell quicker, sell for a higher price. I get it. But look at the sell history. If that house has sold multiple times in 10 years, or it just got remodeled, ask the question, why? Why are you selling when you just remodeled? You put the house the way that you want it and now you're just gonna sell it? Why? Or, hey, this house has sold 3 times in 6 years. That's a big turnover. I've been part of this several times and I've gone to the listing agent and said, why are you guys selling? You just bought it. And they give a good reason. I go to the previous owner. Why did you guys sell? You were only there for a short period of time. Oh, you had to move because of the military? Makes sense. Go to the next one. And you just go down the line and you figure out why. Most of the times, in my experience, when you find out the why, there is a good reason, but still, it's something to be aware of and just cautious of if there's high turnover with the same home. Number 5, and that's deferred maintenance or investor opportunity, and you're gonna see that in the public remarks that describes the house. Now, this might sound like it's a great idea, but deferred maintenance often means that the seller has neglected important repairs or critical house systems for a long time, and you could be walking into a major hidden cost like a failing roof, outdated electrical, plumbing issues, negative grading that's going into the crawl space. So I would be really cautious if you see that deferred maintenance and investor special. There's going to be money upfront needed to correct that house, and that should be pretty obvious with those two terms. But it might be bigger than what the agent or the seller is leading you on to believe. Number 6, quaint or charming. And again, these are terms that you're gonna find in the public remarks. These words, they sound really inviting, right? But oftentimes it's just code for a really small, awkward layout. It needs updating. So don't fall for these buzzwords. Ask for measurements. Make sure you go see it in person. If you're not able to see it in person, then make sure you get on FaceTime with your agent and check it out. Number 7, and that's few photos. Honestly, this could be a reason. Maybe there's a tenant, maybe there's something in the house like a bunch of guns or something really expensive that the seller doesn't want you to see. But oftentimes, if there's not a lot of photos, it's because they don't want to show you something. They want to hide something from you as you're scrolling through all the listings and looking at these houses. Be aware when there's not a lot of photos, or maybe there's some blurry ones, or just one exterior shot, or they're all exterior shots in that case, nothing on the inside, they're hiding something. They don't want to show the condition of the house. 9 out of 10 times, that's exactly what it is. Rarely is it because they don't want to show something that the seller has. Now, it has to do everything with the location. There's a big electrical pole in the front yard, or maybe there's rock blasting across the road that they don't want to show you. There's something that they're trying to hide from you. So just be aware as you're looking online, boy, they're not really showing a lot. There's a reason why. Number 8, and that's overpowering incense or plugins to make the house, make a room smell a little bit better than what it actually is, because they're probably covering something up. So when you walk into a house and it smells like a spa, but instead of feeling refreshed, you kind of start wondering, boy, what are they trying to hide? Is there cat pee everywhere, dog pee everywhere? Are they smokers? Are they smoking marijuana? What are they doing to have all these air fresheners and incense throughout the house? Maybe there's mold. Who knows? There's a lot of times there's a reason why they're trying to cover up these smells, because they don't want you to be aware of a potential bigger issue. So a lot of times I do have some clients, they ask me, hey, make sure they're unplugging all the incense, they're not doing any essential oils for smell, because they want to smell the house. They want to smell the different rooms to get an idea, like, is there a cat peeing everywhere? Do I have to rip up all the carpet and paint all the walls because they are smoking inside the house? So just be aware of that. If you see a bunch of plugins throughout the house, we might have to dig a little bit deeper in finding out if they're trying to cover up an odor. Okay, so make sure that you watch my video, Where to Live in Sandpoint, Idaho, every neighborhood that you need to know about. Also, I want you to leave me a comment down below, and I want to know what red flags you have seen when you're buying a home.